Hey everybody, how's it going? I am so excited to start doodling today. I had so much fun doing the fox drawing last week, and I want to see what we can do with just like a bunch of four-legged creatures. So I'm thinking the very first thing that I want to draw is some kind of like a cat. I used to struggle a lot with drawing cats, and I think that the way you're gonna get better is just by doing it a lot and messing up and then figuring out what looks weird in your drawing and then slowly fixing it. So cats, I know, have a circle head and they have a neck and they have like the shoulder area and then the back leg area. So the first thing I'm gonna do is connect these circles, and then these lines connect. Now we kind of have like an outline for the body, and let's figure out where the legs make sense. And then the one in the back might be coming forward. I actually like the idea that this leg might be, since this leg is out way far to the front, might look cool if this leg is way extended back. I think that looks normal. Let's draw a face. A little perky nose, and then it's gotta have a tail. So from this sketch, the thing that was the hardest for me to grasp was the way that this face should look. So I think I might draw a bigger face right here just to iron out some problems that I was having with this. Here. Cats have big ol' eyes. Big ol' eyes. Big old eyes. It would be like a circle coming out from right about here. And if we refine this circle into an eye, they would have like the corner of the eye, and it would come in with the eyelids, and then round for the eyeball, and then we would erase that socket area. And then I think the nose, yeah, this is feeling right. So the nose needs to come closer. Maybe we could make it a little more perky than that. The circle isn't really doing anything at this point, but whatever. And then maybe we could, see, this is looking like a dog to me. What makes a cat a cat? I bet to make it a cat, I need to shorten the snout. Oh yeah, there we go. That looks way more like a cat. I keep saying her. Did you guys grow up thinking that all cats were girls and all dogs were boys? Because that was me too. Maybe this arm could be up, like pawing at something. I'm trying to decide, should we have her standing or sitting? I kind of want her to be standing. That would be really fun. That's way too small. Let's make it bigger. Maybe she's trying to like sneak on top of a counter and just barely like knock something down. That's what cats do, right? What would it look like if this cat's arm is just kind of dangling down? Cuter if this paw was kind of like scrunched up, pushing against the wall, but only the toes would be coming up, and then the rest of the paw would kind of not. I still don't love these. think the first colors that I want to put down are the super light ones, and this might be the lightest that I have. Oh, I have a 50. Ooh, that's the one. So if I use this alcohol marker over graphite, it will lift the graphite, but since graphite is gray, I'm just gonna try it and see what happens. I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. I might add some pink for the ears. What does this look like? Oh, that is not pink at all. Way too pink. So now we can go in with a darker one. This is too thick. I think I have a thinner. Yeah. This is a 0.3. I think she looks cuter if I don't define her mouth, so I'm not gonna do a line art around her mouth. I kind of want to draw a mouse now. So a mouse shape would be, and then they have a long nose. They don't have this though. It kind of just comes out from their head, ears that come off the back, and then they have little shoulders, and their backs arch quite a bit before it gets to their back legs, which are bigger than their front legs. So this is gonna come up. It almost comes up from like the neck. I guess they can kind of stand a little bit before their feet. It's not like they're walking on their elbows. Like I was gonna draw. And then from here, their tail comes out pretty low. And it's super long. And not that thick. Quite a thin tail. Okay, so let's figure out what we can do with that. Oh, where is their eye? They have kind of a big eye. And it's like right there. And it doesn't come up like I drew. And then if this ear comes that way, then the other ear from the other side would come about that way. If it's towards us, the eyes are gonna be like bulging out of the side of the head a bit. Like tiny little head. And then their ears is what makes them look like a mouse, right? These eyelids are, well, I guess it's the eyes that's making it look a little mean. How can we make it look not mean and make it look cute instead? So maybe if instead of going straight at a diagonal, we kind of lift it up and then down. I kind of like the super big cheeks. Maybe we can exaggerate that a little bit to make it really, really adorable. I guess how big can we get away with? Because at some point it's gonna look like a squirrel with a bunch of nuts in its mouth. I'm still not in love with the eyes. There we go. Still big eyes, but not so creepy looking. So I'm drawing the back leg here. And I kind of have toes that spread out kind of a lot. I'm just picturing like spiders at the edge of her feet. This isn't really hitting like a cute factor to me, so maybe I can switch up the body a little bit and make her not so, Her body doesn't really match her head. I'll just draw a bunch of lines and see what sticks. And if nothing sticks, then I'll just start over. So if we bring her back leg down, she can kind of be like hunched over, like standing on her back legs but hunched over. But if she's doing that, her back legs need to be closer to under her face. Maybe her tail can come up. She's so chunky. Which one would go in front? So would her belly be going in front? Or would her leg be going in front? If her leg is in front, then she's very turned. But if her belly is in front, then she can be turned more towards us. I think I like how it looks if she's turned more towards us. And then how can we give her a personality that doesn't look so blank? And if she's got a smile, then her eyes need to be curved right here. I think it's the nose that I don't love. So we can have her nose coming higher. That's way cuter. What if we did it even higher? How far can we get away with? So what if her nose is way up here and then her chin kind of leads down to her cheeks? She's so cute. Oh, she looks cuter with smaller ears. Was that the problem this whole time? What? Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that. See, it's really easy to say like, oh, the bigger the cuter. Like the bigger features that you have, the cuter. I actually think this back leg needs to come in. I think that's a big problem. Cute. All right, let's figure out some colors. Oh, cute. So since I'm not using gray tones, I'm gonna lighten this up a little. Are their tails the same color as their hands? I think they're supposed to be, and their hands are definitely pink. So when this dries, I'm gonna go over it with a pink. So the line art isn't the best. And that just made her look like a pig. Oh, jeez. What animal is she turning into? This is not a mouse anymore. Oh my goodness. Maybe the eyes. Maybe we can fix it with the eyes. Still creepy. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Let's add maybe some shading with this pen. Maybe if we add like a little pink. Still cute. Not sure if it's a mouse anymore, but mouse essence, the essence of mouse. Let's see what else we can draw. So cat, mouse. Maybe we can draw like a sheepdog. Because this is reminding me of like a farm. But like farm animals that you might find within the house. Not so much farm animals like in a barn. All right, so what I'm thinking of is an old English sheepdog. So where they have like the white front half and then the gray back half. And then their nose. I like how these guys are turned up a little, so I kind of want the sheepdog to have a very proud looking face. And the nose will be very up high and happy. And I'm not sure yet if we should see the eyes or if maybe they should just be, oh yeah, kind of like a bear. All right, so my camera stopped again, and I'm not really sure what you missed, but here we have this guy, and I need to fix his hair and make it maybe a little bit more simple. And I'm thinking of just doing like a big old circle on the top. And that way it would make sense that his eyes are hiding. And his chin, I think, should be longer, because in my head, these dogs are like old men, and he just doesn't look old man enough. And then I might move this a little further back. The thing that I would have the most trouble with, that I need to pay attention to the most now, is making sure that these look furry. And I think I could do that with the line art, so let's see what happens. I'm thinking I might just add a bunch of tiny curved lines for all of his fur. I have a tendency of doing like the background stuff first, and then I get into trouble because I do like the background lines in front of the front lines. Tongue looks funny. And now we get to choose the colors. The nose, I definitely want to be black. And then we'll do probably like up to here. Maybe some of this toe. These toes will be white too. And then I kind of want him to look happier, so how can I do that? Is it possible, since I already did the lines? Nice. I love his little mustache. And then I want like really, really mellow shading for the white. We'll do this for the shading underneath the white parts. Hopefully that mellows out because that looks really yellow. I kind of like it. So now that it's dried a little bit, it doesn't look so yellow, it looks a little bit more creamy. So let's let that dry and see how it turns out. They look so squishy. What a happy guy. This is definitely Rufus. How could he not be? So what else could you find inside of a barn house? So at this point in my sketchbook, I could not figure out for the life of me anything else that could belong inside of a farmhouse house. So I just kind of start messing around with more cats. And since the first two cats that I drew were both side profiles, I thought it might be fun to do like a 3/4 face. And I still kind of have trouble with making a cat look like a dog at first, so I'm trying really hard here to make it look like a cat and not a dog. At first I draw the ears up, and then I decide that I want the cat to have a little bit more personality rather than just staring prettily. So I decide to make this cat look a little meaner, and I know that cats put their ears back when they're feeling a little frisky, so I just kind of decide to run with it. I squint the eyes and I make its bum come up like it's about to pounce, and as I'm drawing this, it's going over that mouse drawing, which kind of, I can't decide if it's a mouse or a rat now. I think it might be turning into a rat. But I decide to have the rat be part of the whatever the cat's up to. So now they're best friends and they get into trouble together, and it has way more personality than I expected, and that was really fun to discover. I'm trying to keep all the colors in this whole spread very similar. So while I am introducing orange to this, I still am keeping along with the same rule that I created for the white shading, in that the white shading is going to have like that yellow undertone to it. So I used that same yellow for the cat's eyes, and I did the cat's nose the same pink that I was doing for like the gray cat in the bottom corner. And the white rat has the same yellow color as the sheepdog. I think you get what I'm trying to say here. But it is kind of fun to have a challenge for yourself to follow the same rule, quote unquote, that you create for yourself for the spread. So at this point in my sketchbook, I still can't come up with any other animals that could fit in a barn house, and so I just go with another dog breed. And this one is a border collie. I love border collies. My dog is not a border collie, but she is a Brittany Spaniel, and they share a lot of the same characteristics, just that very energetic and love to help, love to work. So border collies have a special spot in my heart, and I wanted to capture that eagerness to help in this drawing. And I don't know if you noticed, but I have a buddy with me here at this point while I'm drawing this. My daughter came home from school and she wanted to color with me. So she's all excited drawing her stuff next to me. It's always fun drawing with a buddy. I think at this point when she was sketching in her sketchbook, she was working on all of the evolutions. So she has the TV paused at, I think it was Espeon, and she was trying to draw Espeon in this exact same position that was on the TV. It was really fun. So as I'm drawing this border collie, I know that the eye is where you get a lot of expression. So I'm trying to get this eye looking up, looking eager, just very attentive to what's in front of her or him.
A deer, a female deer, ray a drop of the sun. Call me a name, I call myself, for a long way to run.
And there's nothing like sitting, drawing in your sketchbook, and you get your own personal singer singing songs to you. It's the best. I couldn't decide as I started coloring this border collie where I wanted the black to start and stop. When I started, I wanted it to have a lot more white than I end up with, but I couldn't, it didn't hit the right spot for me. So I decided to do most of it black, keep the chest white, and then I added some shines with my white gel pen, like a little bit more details. So anywhere where the sun might be hitting, I'm adding these little scratchy lines. And then add some shading for the tongue. And then when that shading wasn't shaded enough, I added a tone of gray. And then added it to the teeth too, because at this point the teeth were starting to pop out and be just way too bright. So at this point I'm starting to sit back and decide that it is good, it is done, and I'm ready to move on to something else. And as I start this, I'm already not feeling invested in it. There's always one drawing in the sketchbook where you don't love it, you don't really hate it, but you don't love it, but you decide that you need to fill the spot anyway, so you just kind of continue with it. I don't know if that's how it is for you, but every once in a while that's how it is for me, and this is that drawing for me. I started with this lamb with the idea that it could be in the middle of a jump, and I think I added one too many joints to this back leg as I'm drawing it. I erased that, do it in a different position. I thought it might look cute if the lamb is perched up on like a white picket fence, all eager and excited to see you. But I do have to say that I'm glad that I kept with this because my 4-year-old son came over when I was done with the sketchbook, and he immediately oogled at this lamb and he said, "I love it. This is my favorite, Mom." He loves it. I think it turns out a little bit creepy, and you will see in a second, but he doesn't see the creepiness. And you don't draw in your sketchbook for anybody else other than you. It's for your own soul, your expression. But when your 4-year-old son loves what you drew, it is very sweet and precious to share something like that with them. So this is the part that I decide I already don't love the lamb, so might as well just add the real lamb eye pupil to it. And sheep have like a rectangle for their pupils, so I'm trying that out here. I decide it's very creepy, so I decide to add like a dark to try to hide the pupil, and then the dark eyes just look extra scary. But I don't know, if it's not scary to you, then cool, I'm glad you like it. So I don't know if it's this way with you, but for me, when I don't love a drawing, I don't feel attached to it, and I'm therefore not afraid to ruin it. That's where I end up doing the most like creative things just to experiment. Those little tiny puffs were an experiment, and I decided to experiment with the colors around this picket fence, and it does have a charm to it. It's not terrible. In this spot right here, I want to do a close-up of a cat facing us, so that's what I'm attempting here. He starts off as a Scottish fold, and I tried my hardest to get the fold in the ear right. And at the time when I was drawing this, I felt so frustrated thinking that the fold didn't look good. And now that I'm looking back on it, I think it did look pretty good. There was nothing wrong with it. I should have just spent more time doing like the details in it and shading and all that stuff, and it would have ended up looking great. But at this point in my sketchbook, I didn't want to invest the time in the ear. I wanted to just have like a more simple looking graphite sketch, because all of the other drawings that I did in this spread are complete marker drawings. I wanted to have some kind of a variation, and I wanted to use this drawing for that variation. But I also couldn't help myself. I was on a marker kick at this point, so the eye had to get some marker too. For this last sketch in this spread, I wanted to go back to the simplicity of the very beginnings of the spread, where it was just really simple, really quick sketches. And I find that I didn't scratch the itch of that first mouse pose that I drew, so I end up drawing a cute little mouse in the same pose that it was in before, with its hands up to its mouth. Maybe it's eating a little crumb or something. And I love how this sketch turned out. I love how it fits in with the other drawings in this spread, and I love drawing little spider feet. I don't know what it is. I draw in a tail coming up really high right here. I don't know what it is about me wanting to do tails up really high, but I remember what I learned from that rat and cat drawing where the tail comes out from much lower. So I moved the tail to make more sense anatomy-wise. And you know that I'm pleased with the drawing when I am done with the drawing, but I just go over the same lines over and over and over again. It's almost like I'm trying to not let go of the sketch. I'm not ready to let go. I'm trying to come to terms with letting go. Do you guys do that, or is it just a me thing? Let me know. So the spread is done. I was really surprised at how gentle and just very soft this little cat looked. Over time, this little mouse caught my heart. Look at that smile and those cheeks. She just looks so happy, and she does look a little squat, but don't we all sometimes? Rufus is the cutest. Can never go wrong with a good border collie. This cat and this mouse combo, I want to follow their story and figure out what they're trying to hunt, because they look like a good team. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week. Bye!